Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fore Dads Podcast. Thank you guys for listening. You got myself here, Tees, and Don Julio. We've had a good run the last few weeks. We had a master fitter, as well as the owner and CEO of Golf Dads. If you guys have not checked out those episodes, I will link them down below on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you can obviously check them out on the previous episodes. But if you haven't checked us out on YouTube or Instagram or we're on TikTok now, definitely give us a check.
Yeah, you're missing out.
We're trying to
content.
We're everywhere.
Like what we said, just a couple dads out here shooting the shit, having fun, talking about sports. But ultimately, though, we would love any type of feedback you guys have. If you're looking more for, if you're dealing with any type of mental wellness as a dad, I know it's not spoken about much, but it's definitely something that's out there. You feel that fatigue of like, how do I balance things out with my baby and my job and making sure that I'm giving my beautiful wife the amount of love that she needs.
Right.
Like all these different things, guys, like, guys and girls, we are all here for all of you and everything. Like, this is just two big hearted dudes who, love golf and are finding a lot of, finding a great audience and just a great group of people to connect with. And, just let us know what you're looking for. We'd be more than happy, to accommodate and do what we can, but also this is just for fun for us. We want to have fun and we love what we do. And that's what it's about, starting off with a passion.
Amen, brother. Amen, man. And just jumping into it right now, I know, this past weekend we had some amazing NFL matchups. And not just the matchups, but the games and how they ended, upsets, comebacks, missed extra points, every Tom Brady on his demise. What's going to there's so many things that can happen this week. Yep. I mean, Julio, besides the 49er game, because I know you're a huge 49er game, and that was probably one of the more boring ones because they dominated the crap. But
I thought it was. They were going back and forth almost the whole game. I mean, I talked to one of my buddies before, and he's a massive Seahawks fan, and he was like, what do you think? You guys have owned us all year. And I'm like, it's playoffs, though. Like, Pete Carroll and the Seahawks always come out as a different team. And Gino's on my fantasy. Like, Gino has been solid all year. I am very happy with what he had, but you can't mess with my boy Pretty. Like, Cock Brock is fucking. He's out here to show up or put out, man.
Hey, man, I'll pull for him. I will pull for him because he played at Iowa State, and I got family in Ames. Yeah. All big. My mom went to Iowa State. I got some family who went to Iowa State, so I always pull for them. Matt Campbell's been killing it over there for Iowa State. But, yeah, dude, you guys absolutely thrashed, at least the second half. The first half I felt like there was just they got kind of lucky on some of the calls and things, especially towards the end of the half. In the beginning, how they got that field goal, take the lead. I thought that was really kind of lucky of how that all happened. But
I will say it was great. It was great. I know we said we're going to hold off on my Niners, but it was great to see Debo out there and get his first big run back. Like, it was great. There's a lot of positives, but to my boy Eric Kendrick, going back to the old Fresno days, like, man, I felt bad to see them lose to the Giants. It was just hard. It was heart-wrenching because the Vikings had been such a good team all year.
Oh yeah.
To see the way that they lost to the Giants, especially to the Giants, it's just kind of like I haven't really heard much of the Giants since Eli.
Oh, they've been on the radar, but the Dabble, is it Dabble? Brian Dabble, the new coach this year, he has done wonders with their quarterback.
Yeah, like it was just tough to see. I mean, especially since Eric Kendrick's on defense, and he's a star guy there. It was tough to see them just get ran on and not be able to really do anything, not be able to penetrate Jones and do anything. Like, it was hard.
Dude, Cousins, besides 1 o'clock games, he has like a horrendous record. And I'm like, he definitely has a chance of maybe losing, maybe a close game. And then, 4th and 8. How would you like it if Brock Purdy threw a ball 2 yards on 4th and 8?
Yep.
Like, with a guy on him. He wasn't wide open where he had room. Like, this dude was blanketed. Like, and he's running out of bounds. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That would just take me off at least to the yard marker, please. Give me a chance.
Yeah. Give me a chance to do something. Yeah, no, I agree, man. But
what did you think about the Jacksonville game, man?
I did not expect that. I was at the gym when that game was going on. I was like, holy shit, dude, this is a freaking blowout. All of a sudden, it's like I just got focused in on my gym, got focused in on my music, really stopped paying attention to it. All of a sudden, I saw like, holy crap, this game is getting close. I get back home and I'm like, what did I just witness? And dude, honestly, it couldn't have happened to a better team. Like Jacksonville, you got Trevor Lawrence, who's just been like the golden boy of college for the longest time. Everyone's been waiting to see what the kid is made of.
Yep.
Just wow. What a way to lead the charge, first and foremost. Like just nothing but composure in the pocket, nothing but great visual all throughout the game, just throwing darts, throwing dimes. I mean, dude, it was great. What a great game. And the best part was to see Bosa slam his helmet in just disgust. That just happened.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing was, I think Trevor Lawrence threw 4 picks in the first quarter and a half.
Yeah.
4 picks. Like some of them were his fault. Some were a ricochet. So it was not really his fault per se. But that game honestly reminded me, and I didn't tell anybody this, so I have no proof. But I was thinking this in my head while watching. I was playing video games and watching it on the side, and I was like, oh, okay, 27-0. Okay. Well, if they give up a touchdown here, before the half, 20 points isn't a crazy comeback. They're at home. They're a young team. Lawrence Gunslinger. It reminded me of that game of the Michigan TCU where I was texting you back and forth in the beginning. It was 21-3. You're like, man, we're getting blown out, dude. I'm like, yeah, well, if they get a field goal here, 21-6 right before halftime, that's doable, And they did make it a game. They had a chance, and I was like, hey, you know what? If they get a touchdown here, 27, it's not too bad. They get another touchdown. What they outscore them? Ended up being 31 to 30, I think, right? And so I think they outscored them 24-3 in the second half. And their defense played well. If you watched the opportunities that the defense was thrown into with those interceptions, first and goal. What are you supposed to do? That for the most part, they were not on the field that long either. So it wasn't long drives where the defense is winded. And I was like, yeah, this would be interesting. And it kept getting better and better. And I hate the Chargers. And I was like, let's go. And that was an epic game. I was like, you got to be, for not even a rookie quarterback, from what happened last year with Urban Meyer and how much of a dumpster fire that was.
Shit show.
Oh my. Yeah. And then after the game, he goes to Waffle House with his boys. Yeah. His family just ate at Waffle House right after the game. Yeah. Just such a blue collar dude, and Sunshine just slinging it around there. Excellent game. I mean, what other games were there? There was, besides the Tom Brady one, what other ones on Sunday?
You had Baltimore and
dude,
I didn't see that game.
How did 24-7? How does Baltimore, the backup quarterback, hang in there with Joe Burrow, and the only the game ended up 24-17 without whoever the backup quarterback is doing a leap over the end zone with the ball, and he fumbled it at the 1 yard line, and Cincinnati took it back 99 yards. Without that, it was a tie game. You're telling me you're going to stay tied to Baltimore, the backup quarterback with Joe Burrow, and they might have a weaker offensive line, but the coaching on Harbaugh was second to none, just to keep his team in the game, which was insane in my opinion. I was very surprised.
Yeah. Well, hey man, I mean, going back to the week before when the Raiders brought out the kid from New England that they had gotten against the Niners,
yes, did him,
dude. I would have never expected that type of swagger coming out from first start all season, right. Second string quarterback behind Derek Carr with all the drama that was kind of going on in the field. You had and
against that Niners defensive line,
Yeah, exactly. Going against the number one defense in the NFL, and on top of that, you even had your star wide receiver talking shit on Twitter, saying I stand by my quarterback, thinking he's not even going to and he ends up being the star of the game. I mean,
right? Yeah,
that was a hell of a performance. Even though in the second half, we came back and kind of put them in
right,
but still, you know,
Right.
it was just like, I didn't expect that. I was like, I mean, my sister's boyfriend is a massive Raiders fan. And man, was he chirping away at it. He was like, oh, dude, this guy's fucking awesome. He's, he's basically like our Garoppolo from the Patriots. Like, he's our future and all this stuff. I'm like, the guy's
Shut up. Yeah. Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's it.
It's one game, bro. It's one game.
The game that I was shocked that was actually pretty close was Buffalo and
Right? Yeah, it's another one. Yeah.
in Miami. I was shocked with how close that was. I mean, you could even see Josh Allen was sweating bullets on the side when they got the turnover on fourth and 8 or whatever it was with just 2 minutes left. Like,
Dude.
I think it was less, but like you saw him like jump up and he was oh, dude, we got to win.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a good game.
That was a really good game. Now, the game that kind of the game that was kind of sad to watch was the Cowboys and the Bucks. Like,
who, for the kicker or for Tom Brady? Which one?
For me personally, the Tom Brady. Like, it was the first time where you kind of saw, like, he just seemed old out there. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't seem like he was.
Yeah.
Like, he just didn't have that pep. I don't know if maybe because Giselle's not there. He's not getting that pregame blowy or whatnot. But dude, I have. It just didn't look like freaking the GOAT Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't look the same. But
he definitely.
Now there's
this whole year.
Now there's rumors that apparently he could be coming to the Niners for his final season. I don't know.
Why would you? Honestly, with how well Brock Purdy's played and how well Garoppolo's been at a younger age, why would you even want that now? Like, if he came off of the year last year, yes,
it's still going to be like that.
No.
He's a Bay Area boy.
No, I get no. You're gonna have rumors, but I'm just saying, like, as a coach, as like a fan, why would you want that? If of course you had, let's say, Jarrett Stidham as your starting quarterback, that's like your top guy on your roster. Like, you guys have Purdy, who's outplayed and played extremely well. You have Garoppolo, who probably is playing his last year or whatever, but you still have Trey Lance as well on the roster. Exactly, but you traded the house for him. So, like, you have so much other people there that need to play or should play that I don't think you should go there. I mean, of course, if he was good, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Tom is Tom. And
he could do like what Frank Gore did, which was like a 1-day contract. You come in, you take a few snaps, and then once the game's over, you say your farewell. It's just like that's been Tom Brady's dream since he first came to the league. He wanted to be with the Niners, but
just didn't pan out.
Successful doing his thing. I mean, he's expressed it tons of times, but hey,
right.
I just know that like the York family, like, they totally will do it. They'll be like, hey, Tom, you know what? We'll give you $300,000 for 1 day for you just come in, do your thing. Like, we'll make jerseys and then we'll put them on sale the next day.
Right. And then, you make all those sales. But hey, quick turn before we get into golf. Ronaldo, you're talking about $300,000 for a day, an insane amount of money, right? Ronaldo, if you didn't know, he's getting paid $300 million for 1 year at a Saudi Arabian soccer league team, right? And the rival, well, hold on, it's insane. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The rival team is offering Messi $450 million a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just sign me up for 1 year. Like, holy, this is so much FU money that it's just like they're still solid players, so I could be wrong, but like, imagine just like they're already set for life, like Tom Brady set for life. You don't need that money, but think of how many great grandkids are gonna be set for life because of this money. And I guarantee you they can cover the taxes or whatever it is in that country, so they're not taxed on it, because that's FU money. Like, that's what it is. And
I know. I was thinking the same thing earlier. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was like, wow, $300 million for 2 years. Like,
could you imagine?
And that's $300 million a season. Like, that's some great money.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I heard Messi gets offered $450 million. I was like, hold on a second. We have a headliner here. This is going to be the first professional athlete ever to get near $500 million. Like, and that's just him just to step on the field and play with the jersey on. Like, you're not even talking about like his sponsors, like his other business, whatever.
He could make $1 billion in a year, dude. It'd be freaking insane.
He'd be up there with freaking Elon Musk. Just take a
right?
$1 billion.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, I just thought when you said 300,000 for a day, I'm like, yeah, they could definitely do that. But like the amount of money for those two people was recent, and I'm like, haven't talked about that. But now switch. Yeah, go for it.
Now that we're talking about, just stupid amounts of money. So last week 2 weeks ago, we spoke about how the LIV Tour is, raising headlines with all their crazy amounts of money, and how players are trying to debate if whether or not they want to stay. So I was looking at the PGA tournament schedule earlier. So let's see here. So the next one that's coming up is the American Express tournament over at La Quinta, and Hudson Swafford was the winner last year.
What a name!
Yeah, he won $1.3 million. The purse last year was only 4.5.
Okay.
The purse this year is $8 million. Check this out. The Farmers Insurance tournament over at Torrey Pines on the 25th. Luke List won $1.5 million. Coming in fourth place.
Right.
The purse last year was only 5.5. This year it's 8.7.
All right. Okay.
Continuing. AT&T, which is February 2nd, which you and I need to get our tickets for.
Right.
But Tom Hogue won 1.5. The purse was only 6. It is now 9 million. Okay. And here's two big ones that have jumped tremendously. So the Waste Management Phoenix Open in Scottsdale, Scotty Scheffler was the winner of 1.4. The purse was 10. It is now this year 20 million. And that goes with the Genesis Open, which Neoman won with 2.6, and the purse was still 10 also, which is now 20. So going back to what we said about how LIV is throwing all this money, finally, and this also touches on what we talked about with Zach last week too. They are now finally throwing some money into this thing, and I think I think we're about to see. I'm hoping as a fan, we see a little bit more competition kind of going into it. Normally, you see a few players that run away with it. I know the Sony, like Siwoo Kim, kind of just came out of nowhere, ended up taking the win, but still, it's like that's some serious change to go play for 4 days, man. Like that's a hell of a skins game in my opinion.
Right. And I mean, like, thank you, LIV. Thank you, LIV. Without LIV, like they'd be still going like that, maybe 5.7 million or just a couple thousand extra, inflation or whatever. But because of LIV, you have this money now, PGA. Look what just fell out of my pocket or out of my jacket that was in the closet. I had a couple million in there. Oops. It was always there. And that's what I think Phil Mickelson, back when this whole thing started, was talking about, and we talked about, I think, in our first podcast, where it's just like, why do I have to pay like $9 million to have the rights to my own thing? That you should be able to have that content and accessible, and the amount that they take from you and that they make off of you that you don't see. It's kind of like an NIL deal. It's kind of like NCAA before the NIL deals.
Yeah.
And name, image, likeness, and things like that. So I've always been a true believer of everyone from the PGA should be grateful for everyone that left for the LIV, because that have opened up the pockets and kind of created, like you said, a competition. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but for PGA Tour 2K, that's been the game out for the next gen series the last couple of years. But now EA Sports is coming out with their own version within the next couple months. And it'll have all the majors licensed, the only one that has a licensed version of like Augusta. And but with PGA Tour 2K, people have literally made that course.
Right.
So like it's legitimately, but
that will be the first time that Augusta will ever be featured in a video game. Because even
second, Tiger Woods, they've done it a few times.
really, I didn't
Back
know
in like
that.
14 and Tiger Woods 14. Yeah, it was nuts. The only reason I remember is one, the course, but two, you couldn't. They gave you a standard look every time. You couldn't change your outfit to look like crazy because for whatever reason, Augusta was like they have to wear khakis, a polo, like you because like in the Tiger Woods games you can wear like jeans or whatever. Like I don't want my course to have anyone with jeans. So every time you did that, it reset your character's looks to the standard.
That's news. That's news to me. I had no idea, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Right?
Because even, I mean, dude, think about it. Like when we went to that hitting facility, right? The labs place.
Mm-hmm.
They had the top of the line TrackMan there with thousands of courses on there, and
right.
I mean, dude, even TrackMan, even Foresight can't even get Augusta on their virtual playing. And you have players out. I mean, you have like Jordan Spieth who set up an entire Foresight setup in his house, and his was super glorified too, but he can't even get on that. I mean, Bryson has TrackMan, and he has two hitting bays in his house. And I mean, speaking of that guy, I'm going to kind of switch it here, but dude, have you seen his recent videos with like Grant Horvick and Micah Morris and him going on YouTube and playing against those guys? Like, dude, those dudes can play. Like, I think them moving off of like good was a pretty good move because those dudes can freaking play. I mean,
they really can.
Micah's 5'8", maybe like 165 pounds of just lean Texas muscle.
Right.
But dude, he cranks the ball. And I mean,
he does. He whips it. Like
there was one of the par fives that was downwind where he's playing a 6-hole stroke play match against Bryson, and Bryson tattoos one. He hits it a little off the toe, so it has like literally no spin. He hits it like 370. Okay. Micah hits a small cut, same thing, carries a bunker that's like at 320, catches a slope, and he's down there. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? These guys literally just almost hit 400 yards, and if Micah is 30 yards ahead of him, you're telling me he got all of 400 yards now. Like,
freaking nuts,
insane. Dude. So, that's pretty fun to watch. And,
yeah, I
will say, to see Bryson being so involved with like, Bust the Jack, the good guys,
Bob Sports, he's done a few of those.
Rick Shields, all even Dude Perfect, where they did the I think the best
on Augusta, right? They did something on Augusta, right?
Yeah, they did something on Augusta where they did like a play all to where literally they were hitting with pool sticks and hitting an 8-ball into the hole. Like, I just have to give a huge shout out to Bryson. Like, dude, what a big hearted guy to go out and do all those videos with all those dudes. Like, that is so cool. That is so cool to see. And man, going back to like what Zach said last week too, like I would love to take a trip to go out to Texas and hopefully see some of these guys. But I feel like if you go play in Texas, it seems like everybody in Texas can freaking play some good ass golf. And I'd be ecstatic to like get to a tee box, at like, I don't know, at some course and just know like, hey, this guy could be a +2 for all I know, but he's 60 years old. And if you get anything less than that, I'm like, you know what? This Texas YouTube golf stuff is all lies. No one's this good. It's only these guys. Like, get out of here.
No, I hear you, dude. That would be a blast. I think, honestly, I don't even think I played golf outside. Actually, I played once golf outside of California. I played in Iowa. One of my cousins went to I played out there. They live in Ames. But I've never really, again, not with my clubs or anything like that. But that'd be a blast to go out there for like a few days, and play some nice courses and also see what the prices are out there. Cause I know the prices out here in California are doo dumb, dude. Like they're so high. Like I told you,
I feel bad that you say that they're high cause you're in Clovis.
And
I
know.
I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, from what you experienced up in the Bay Area. Right.
You're going to be like,
Yeah, that's why I don't go golfing unless it's with you out there, because you got your connections out there. I'm like, I can't afford that crap.
Yeah.
But like on another note, like I told you before, I think it was today or yesterday, I'm playing Madeira Muni, right, on Monday. You're not able to go out, I know, because you're not. I took the day off. I have floating holidays, and they're going to expire. I'm like, let me just take one off on Monday, because I wanted to go golfing the last 3 freaking weeks. It's been raining for about 3.5 weeks. It's been ridiculous. And the guy I'm going with sent me a picture from Madeira Muni's website, and I guess they posted something on their website saying, with this month's rain, the lake bordering holes 5 through 7 is full for the first time since the 90s. We don't know how long it'll remain full, so don't miss out this opportunity to play how the course was originally intended.
Nice.
And I was like, it's not terrible. I mean, it's a decent track. It's scoreable. I've had great experiences with there. But if you remember, like 5 through 7, it's like 5. You have like that massive ditch on the right side where you could hit it. You could have hit it in there and hit your ball out, no problem. It turned into grass. But that's the water. That's now supposed to be water. And that's like another part that I played the course maybe 3 or 4 times that I've never experienced that before. And heck, you might not even have experienced that before if it hasn't filled up since the 90s, you know? So I'm hoping to get that, to have that and see it a good experience. But we still need to get our round of golf in at Dragonfly that we've been trying to plan for the last probably month and a half. And again, since this rain's over, hopefully we'll be able to get that in within the next month or two.
Well, I'll tell you this much: if we can play the last week of January, I'll drive down. That would be the 28th and the 29th. I'll drive down. I'll stay over there. We can go play. But then what I want to do is, if we can get tickets to the Pro-Am, we'll get there a day early. I'll get us a hotel. We can stay over there, and then we'll go play Del Monte Spanish or I don't know, even Laguna Seca or something. We'll go play one of those courses, and then we'll go spend the whole day and watch the tournament.
We'll talk about that after the podcast. I'll give you the update on that. I'll give you the update on what I know.
Who wants to join us?
Where exactly. I mean, right? No, exactly. I mean, that'd be awesome. That'd be dope. But I mean, so another question for you. Since I know the PGA Tour obviously just started within the last couple weeks, at least this season. Who are your top picks to make it to win the FedEx Cup this year? Last year it was Roy McIlroy making a crazy comeback against Scotty Scheffler, who held down number 1 for majority of the year. Do you have any dark horses? Do you have someone that you think will turn it around? Do you think Rory will hit it back to back? What are your thoughts? And I'll give my picks right after your guesses.
I'm gonna go with a crazy pick here. I think just the growth that this player has had last year, the contending weekends he had, I think we could see a pretty big rise out of Will Zalatoris.
Dang it! I was hoping you weren't going to say him. That was one of my picks, dude.
I think he has a really good chance. I don't know if he'll win it. But I think he'll come close. My go-to guy that I really want to see, my go-to guys that I would like to see win it would either be JT, Justin Thomas, or Spieth.
Okay.
Those are my 2 guys. I just think, what, dude, their game is just so tight all the time. Now,
right.
Jordan, gets a little bit in his head now that he's become a dad too, and his golf game's kind of going like this, but he's just such an exciting player to watch regardless.
When he does well, the world watches, they love sure. He's just such a genuinely good person.
Everyone just expects the world out of him because, I mean, dude, like you think back to his, to his beginning years, to go back to back with Masters and all this contending, and then all of a sudden, for him to like lose that one to who the fuck is Daniel Willett, Oh
my gosh, yeah, right, dude, that was crazy. But yeah, yeah, I know, like I was a little bummed that you picked Will Zalatoris as one of them, because I was thinking that as well. Because if you remember, I think it was either the second, you know, how the FedEx Cup Playoffs, they have 3 tournaments, you know, like the top 125, then like the top 80 or 60 or whatever, then like the top 30 for like the final round. And
Yeah.
the second round of the playoffs, he came out with a back injury and he was like tied or almost leading that round. He could have easily been neck and neck with Scotty Scheffler, and he didn't even play the final round because of his back injury. So I'm thinking the same thing, that he has, you know, everything to gain. He was finished at a great, you know, thing, as he finished really well. Hopefully that injury doesn't really give him any yips or, you know, throw him off or get mentally, you know, throw him off. But for me, picks wise, besides Zalatoris, because I really think he's got a good shot this year. I don't know if he will, but Max Homa. Obviously, he's like the Twitter bro. Everyone loves Max Homa. You know, he also just became a dad as well.
Even his YouTube channel too is.
Yeah, he's been on Bob Does Sports. I think he's been on Foreplay Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's the man of the people. But not only that, but he had the last few years, like he has gotten his rankings have like progressed every season. He's gotten better and better and better. And he's a Titleist FootJoy guy like myself, so you know I go for that. I love that. And he's from Cal, you know, L.A. Played at Cal, California boy.
Well, even to see him at the Fortinet last year, you know, dude, the way he
was that Maryland? Was that the Maryland one where it's like wet?
No. The Fortinet is over at Silverado over here in Napa.
Oh, okay.
So I went the last day, and I was following him. But I've played that course a dozen times, dude. I've played the North Course a dozen times.
Jealous.
It's a phenomenal track. It's a I forget I think it's a Johnny Miller design. So everything is a draw. Everything or the majority of them is a pretty nice draw, but you have room. You know, you have room on the right side to really hang something out there, and you have enough room between tee box and trees where you can bend it as far as you want over those trees and they'll find fairway all day. But to see the way he played that course, it was, I don't mean this in a bad way, but it was a very conservative way, to where even though he wasn't banging it, like he was still within scoring distance. I think he didn't have a single shot, even on some of the par fives, you know, that was over like 230. And you know, on a windy day, that course can beat you up a little bit. And to watch him, I mean, just the first hole, which is like the first hole visually, you just want to bang it because it's a wide open fairway. It favors the draw, and the hole is designed to where if it's a front pin, you fly a little past, it comes back. If it's on a back pin, get up on the high right side, comes right down, sits in the little nestled area. The toughest pin is just a Sunday pin when it's over in the back left corner, because if you go too far, it rolls off the back and you have like a dead zone for a flop shot. But even just to see him on that hole, dude, like, I mean, it was packed, but I saw his shot and it was just this dead straight missile down the middle of the fairway. He probably had, I think, like 120 yards in, smooth, just like a nice pitching wedge, bites it in the middle, trickles down, makes birdie. Then they had the long par 3 go for number 2, which is like, I think it's like 220 yards uphill, and the wind's kind of in your face, so it definitely plays like 240 or 230, give or take. He just hits a sweet freaking little 5 punch iron, just goes up there, rises, comes straight down, makes a long putt gets it close for a par, and then the next hole is even better. It was great to watch him, and then to see him close it out, and then basically see the other guy that was behind him who 3-putted to lose. is pretty good. But yeah, he like.
That's what happens when you 3-putt, bro. That's what happens when you 3-putt. People forget your name real easily.
His last putt was only like if he would have made it, it would have pushed him into a playoff. But like his last putt was literally like 4 feet. And he just like comes out, and then all of a sudden his wife is like, "He won!" And all of a sudden you see him like realize in the waiting locker room or whatever it is, and he's just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh man, I mean, what's the first major that's coming up this year? Is it? It's not the. Is it? Is it the? It's not the Masters, is it?
No,
'Cause I
hang
know
on.
it's the first week of April, and we're in the middle of January right now.
Hang on. Let me see.
U.S. Open is Father's Day.
The first major.
The U.S. Championship.
Isn't the
PGA
Fedex
Championship?
Open a major? No.
No, it's just very popular.
Arnold Palmer. Oh no, you have the Players.
Nope, that's still not a major. It's just a huge pot. It's just not a major.
So then I guess it would be the Masters.
Would it? Okay.
So
Dang. Because I mean, yeah, that's a good question. So, if all expenses were paid, and you went to, I mean, I'm not even going to ask this question. I'll ask another question because let's say, what major would you want to go to? Well, obviously, if all expenses are paid, everyone would want to go to the Masters, right? Because that is, you wouldn't want to check that out just in person. No. Okay. Well, then, if you had all expenses paid, you got to pick the course because every Open, every PGA Championship is rotated, so it's literally any course that you like. Let me say this again so it gets on a reel. Yeah, right. If you had all expenses paid to attend man, I'm gonna restart this again. This is embarrassing. If you had all expenses paid to attend a major, and you could pick what course to go to, which course would you want to watch? Which major? What would it be?
Well, here's the thing. Mine wouldn't be. Well, I'm sorry to ask this question, but is the Tour Championship a major?
The Tour, as in like the Fedex Cup Playoffs?
No, the Tour Championship at East
Like
Lake.
Yeah, no, that's the Fedex Cup Playoffs championship. Like that. Like no, it's not.
Okay, well that's where I want to go. But
You want to go to East Lake? You want to watch East Lake?
Yeah.
But what major? Like a PGA Championship? Because obviously they're going to rotate that eventually and probably not have it there anymore. But
yeah, if I were to go to a major, I'd probably want to. Yeah, I think I'd go to the PGA Championship and watch Oak Hill.
okay, and that's is that in Michigan or is that in Pennsylvania?
In Rochester.
It is. Oh, it's up north. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let me see
I
here.
want to go there because here's the thing. Everyone raves about the Masters. Everyone raves about just the classic experience of it, right? I've had tons of friends go. They're always like, "Oh, dude, it's just the best." It's like it's like Disneyland for golfers.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's great. Like, cool, but I want to go somewhere that really everyone else is just kind of like, it's just another tournament, right? The Masters is obviously the
pinnacle, yeah.
Yeah, it's the pinnacle. But if I had all expenses paid, if I had everything that I wanted, I think I'd want to use it for something that would be different. Because unless you're getting there at a certain time, and to go find a good spot to sit to where you can see everybody come through, you can't really follow players. I think at the Masters, you have to find a spot to sit, kind of take a look and just stay there. I want to.
Not only that, but you can't have your phone. So if you get lost, dude, you're screwed. If you don't know where you are, if you lose your friends, you are screwed. Yeah. And I've heard people have been like, "Yeah, I lost my group, and I was without it for 3 hours because I just didn't know where they were, and I couldn't call them, I couldn't contact them." But okay, Oak Hill, solid course, yeah, solid course. Unfortunately, my recollection of professional golf courses, besides obviously the main ones, is evading me. I think it'd be cool to go. I know they recently just had one, but a U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. I think that'd be cool. I think that would be awesome. You're going to have decent weather. It's not going to be too hot. It might be a little chilly, but you can at least cover up. You got beautiful scenery, no matter what. I think they just had it recently. I think that'll be a fun experience whenever they do it again or whatever major they put it there. Because I know this year the U.S. Open is going to be at the LA Country Club, which I was hoping to get tickets for, but unfortunately wasn't able to get them, even though I signed up for everything that you can, prepare yourself for. I tried doing some of the focus groups. I even was part of a focus group for questions. I was the only one who attended. No one else showed up, and like they didn't even give me some kind of like something for it. Like I'm like, this sucks. Like I just had my son like 20 days ago. I'm dying of sleep, and I'm on here at 7:45 because I want to have an opportunity to go to this tournament, and I didn't. Like this sucks. Okay. Now, my other question that I totally veered off where we're going somewhere else with like other kind of opportunities. If you had an opportunity to play in the Pro-Am at Pebble Beach, would you?
Hell yeah.
No matter who, what you were set up with.
That was my goal last year. That's why I played in so many freaking tournaments last year.
Were you close?
No, not at all. There's so much good talent. I mean, I played well. Like, I played at the U.S. qualifier over at Fountain Grove. Got two rounds, and I went 70. I went 72. I went 72-81, and
oof.
Like the qualifying round was like literally only -3, which, I mean, Fountain Grove it's a gettable course, but the thing is like if you're a long hitter, you can get into a lot of trouble.
You got to rein it back a little bit.
Yeah, you can get into trouble pretty quick. But I mean, I did that one. I did the. I also did the U.S. qualifier over at Yocha. I did the amateur qualifier over at Hagen Oaks, and then just for shits and giggles, I played the Santa Rosa City, which was right here at the course out in front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even then, like I played well. In my opinion, I wasn't making putts one day, and then the next day I was making putts, but I couldn't hit it. I couldn't hit like a shot for 100 yards. But I had no problem getting off the tee box. I had no problem like with approach shots. I just overread things, and then all of a sudden you're just getting in your head. But dude, I will say, like, the greens for the US Open qualifier at Fountain Grove, like, I tip my hat off to that greens crew, because dude, those greens were rolling like a 13.5. Like, I had a putt on number 2 that I was just above the hole, probably 6 feet. I hit a great shot that went right over the pin. It bit, kind of came back a little bit, 6 feet down the hill. I literally just blew wind on it. I hit it. It's tracking towards the hole the entire way, and it just catches the high side, catches some more speed off of the lip, and it goes all the way down to about 80 yards off the green.
What?
Yeah. Because they had the pin in the back. So
oh no.
Great shot. I hit a great shot, went right over the top, and I just putted it, and it just goes, just takes off.
Dude, I would be shaking on the putter. I'd be like, don't hit it, and then like,
My buddy TJ caddied for me, and he was just like, you couldn't have hit that putt any better. He's like, well, you had that perfectly right. I'm like, it just happens, dude. Like, we're just gonna have to take a bogey. Like,
right, yeah.
Take a bogey. That's all that it is.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I played, but man, it's just
that's golf.
I think next week, just to give everyone kind of a look into next week, I have a friend of mine named Nick Wu who would like to come up on the podcast. He currently is trying to chase down his PGA card, and to hear the stories him and our friend Matt Watkins have talked about, just trying to do it. Being top golfers on their college team to now trying to get into the PGA or even just get their professional card. Like, dude, the amount of talent that is out there is it's super underrated. Like, no one talks about it, because I think in golf, being that it's a gentleman's game, right? There is some players that are just extremely humble about it. Like, like my buddy,
right?
Matt Watkins. You look at him and you wouldn't think like, oh yeah, he's probably just out here to have some fun. Then you see him rip his driver, and you're like, where did this kid come from? And
right,
Nick is very much the same way too.
I mean, it's like golf is like baseball in the sense of how many leagues and how many, levels there are to get up there, but with, I would say, at least double the amount of players. Because
Quadruple.
Because you play it worldwide. Golf, like for baseball, that's not really played in Europe, but golf is played all throughout Europe, all throughout Asia, all throughout Australia, all throughout South America, everywhere. Yeah. It's becoming so much more popular everywhere. And like you said, I think Grant, the guy from Good was saying, like, he tried, getting serious when he was like 16, 17, 18 or whatever. And just said he would shoot like 2 to 3 under and he would lose, by 3-4 strokes.
That's what's crazy. Like, think about Charlie's freaking last tournament that we were talking about a month ago. Like, dude, Charlie shot 67 and lost to a kid who shot like 65. Like that's
crazy.
That's unheard of. Like, for people like you and I to shoot 75 is like, wow, that was a great round, right? And then to still and for some to even leave the course with the same ball is like, dude, I feel great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like, to play to that level, and that's what I'm saying. Like, my U.S. Open experience, like, I worked so hard for that. Like, I was at the range, I was playing every day, I was putting in my office, I was doing everything, and I played really well, in my opinion. I played really well. The only thing that sucked was just my last day, and it was only because I felt like I had to press. I felt like I had to just really take shots that, quite honestly, if I would have just continued to play my game, I think I would have been in contention. I probably would have been part of the final playoff group and still would have done fine.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's what's crazy about golf. Like, I literally just Googled, and we'll end on this. What's the average golfer score? Like, what's a good golfer score? Anything better than a 90 on a 72 hole course is a good score. And if I got a 90 or an 89, I wouldn't pick up a set of clubs for a couple weeks. I'd be so pissed. Because if I don't break 80 now that I've done it more consistently, that's mine. Obviously, I think for my goal 2023 is to break is to shoot even par. At whatever course I'm at, the goal is even par. I know for you it might be different, but I've never shot even par, never shot under, and
now that I'm a dad, like, I
reel them back the expectations a little bit.
I just recently played like in just a pickup skins game on 3 weeks ago on a Sunday where it didn't rain. It was perfect. The course was still obviously wet, but my friends that I play with, they're like, oh, dude, there's a low gross today. What do you think you're going to shoot? 60, 69? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I haven't touched my clubs in like a month. And my buddy's like, well, what's your expectation today? I was like, if I can get 3 over, dude, I will buy everybody a drink here today. Like, I'll be happy. And I did. I actually shot 2 over, and I was like, wow, I didn't expect it. Only lost 1 ball, and it was because it just trickled into the water. But
sometimes that's how, dude, for the longest time before I really got into golf, I played better when I didn't play for a while because my expectations were lower. It wasn't like, dude, you've been practicing the shot for like 2 weeks. Like, how are you not hitting it? Like, it was literally like, hey, if I don't do well, okay. And then it was just so much more mentally in between the ears. You were just so much more relaxed. Hey, if I hook it, I hook it. If I shank it, I shank it.
Yep, exactly. So that's just the reality of it, man. I mean, it's like what we talked about last week. Golf is just one of those sports where it's a very vicious roller coaster sometimes. Either you're just enjoying it, you're having fun, you're going through the loops of everything, and you're going with the big old smile to where all of a sudden, what the fuck?
Right.
You're losing it. You go nuts real quick.
Oh, right. Oh, 100%, man. But what an episode, man. I mean, I'm glad we're able to sit in and have another episode. It's been a fun ride so far. I know, again, we're just doing it for fun. If it takes off, great. If not, oh well. We're still just 2 dads want to talk sports, get away from the wives and the kids for a few minutes to just talk some sports. But thank you everybody for watching. If you guys haven't already, check us out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok now. Please give us a look at Fore Dads Pod. But we're going to end it out here, and we'll see you next week again with, what's his name? Chris Wu?
With Nick Wu.
Nick Wu, my apologies. Nick Wu, hopefully you guys can join us there. I will have a few links of our previous podcasts and our interviews down below for you guys to check out on YouTube. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everybody.